Welcome back to another live, people. Welcome back to the YouTube channel, and welcome back to another match preview of the Arsenal game, people. We've got a 2 out of 3 now. Thank you to everyone that joined the Hooks one earlier. Big up to everyone that's come from Northside's channel as well. And yeah, another new guest onto the channel, Northside, bro. How you doing, man? How you doing on this Friday night?
In my personal life, always good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like in my personal life, yeah, great, man. But yeah, when it comes to the club, it's long, bro. It's long. But yeah, man, I'm good, man. Love having me on, though.
No, much appreciated. A bit off topic, people, but when I played that 30-second countdown, I think StreamYard updated his fucking music. I don't know why it sounded like a Christmas jingle this time. They've gone from the original fucking 30-second bullshit. But big up to everyone that come from Northside's channel as well. I see you all in the chat. Big up to yourself. Big up Czech as well for the channel. Big up Villa fan as well. And yeah, this should be an interesting one as well, people, because everyone knows my thoughts mainly. But from an outside perspective, Northside, obviously, a lot of people come from your channel, but for the people that don't know already, like from your views of the season so far and what you were expecting at the start of the season, then coming from your confidence into this game, like what has been your perspective and what's been that compared to the general consensus of the fan base?
What on Arsenal?
Yeah, just on Arsenal in general this season.
Oh no, with this fan base, it's just loser mentality all the time. Free hit. You know, everything's free hit. It doesn't matter. No accountability. But whatever changes, bro. Nothing ever changes, bro. Like at the end of the day, I wasn't confident again in another campaign with Arsenal because nothing ain't changed. The manager literally had just done a watch along for the press conference, and he's talking about we've got players that can fill gaps and players that can play out positions, and the players should be, ready to play and offer the team different things in terms of playing out of position, bro. I've seen this before, bro. I've seen Zinchenko, that's a 10, play left back. I've seen Partey as a DM play right back. Do you know what I mean? I've seen Moreno play as a 10. I've seen Havertz play as a 10. I've seen all of this before, bro. I've seen Trossard play as a striker. Like, where's it really got us, bro? I don't need to keep seeing something to see that something's wrong and seeing something ain't working, bro. And ultimately, we're in this position because of this manager. This ain't like the Man United situation where Ruben Amorim has gone to a team where he didn't build. He's literally just been given a team that has none of his identity and he needs to rebuild because it's been all over the place. This is a team that's been built by this manager, bro. And when you look at the bench was a mess when he inherited the team. The bench is a mess now. The team wasn't good enough to win the league when he inherited it, and the team still isn't good enough now. So nothing ain't changed. The only difference is we're getting in European spots. But let's not forget, when he inherited that toxic team, they finished 5th. So they weren't that far off it, bro. They finished 5th and got to Europa League final. This manager's come in, taking us 8th, 5th, you know what I'm saying? And then getting into the top 4, and we've not been able to push on since. So at the end of the day, bro, like I'm not hearing it. We shouldn't be having to play Moreno as a striker. And this is why I'm not confident for the game against you, though. Because if we had all our players, I'd probably say, do you know what? Your defense is suspect as hell. Kilman, if it's not Kilman, most of the time it's Mavropanos. So I'd be like, do you know what? Yeah, we got enough. We got enough to win this game. But playing with Sterling, I mean, I don't know if you saw the Sterling performance against Leicester. Atrocious, bro. You know what I mean? So why would I be more confident that he can put up a performance against you guys? Trossard through the middle, he may not start him. If he doesn't start him, we'll probably use him off the bench as a striker. He's been inconsistent even when he's been playing in his position. Ethan, you're always going to get inconsistencies playing young players. Most of the time, you're going to get inconsistencies. And we need consistency to catch up to Liverpool. So I like Ethan. I think he's a baller. I think he's very talented. But once again, we're doing the Saka thing. We're doing the Odegaard thing. We're doing the ESR thing. We're doing Enquiries. We're relying on youngsters again. Do you know what I mean? And this is the problem. Odegaard has been rubbish. But because he's one of the favourites, the fan base won't talk about it. They won't talk about it. But Odegaard's dropping the stinker, they won't talk about it. When Trossard was dropping the stinker, he's better off the bench. This is how my fan base are. Different energy for different players, bro. If you don't perform and you're a favourite, we just move on. We just act like it didn't even happen. If you're one of the favorites, if you're somebody that they don't really like, or you're keeping a player that's a fan favorite at the team, i.e. Martinelli, oh, well, you're not really performing. You need to be off the bench. You may be an impact club. You're not doing it. That's what this fan base is, bro. That's what it is, man. Double standards, bro.
Yeah, like that makes a lot of sense, to be fair, because obviously when Arteta was like really under pressure, I remember that first wave when you guys beat Chelsea all them years ago, where it was like Saka, Smith Rowe, Martinelli, come and save my job sort of thing. Then Nketiah came in when you guys did have a striker. This was the same Nketiah that Leeds didn't even want when he was on loan there. Bielsa sent him back there, and it makes me laugh because I watched a documentary on that Leeds season. They were literally FaceTiming Nketiah afterwards when they won the league. And Nketiah's like cheering from the sidelines. Like, listen, you couldn't even make that team over Bamford. So what made Arsenal think that they should keep Nketiah and make him sign a new contract? But this is what I want to know from an outside perspective, bro. Because you mentioned the whole Amorim situation at Manchester United, and I've always like wondered when it comes to other clubs on other managers having the certain power when it comes to transfers and the board, etc. How much of the power is with the board above and the directors above and whoever's working up there? Or is it Arteta who has the approval of the transfers? Or is it just a case of he doesn't mind who's there sort of thing? He just signs off on anyone and just works with who he's got to deal with? Or does he generally request for these sort of players?
Another flip-flop behavior from the fan base. When we buy the players that they want, they say, if Arteta wants him, I want him. As soon as the signing doesn't work out, oh, well, Arteta, but Arteta doesn't, he needs to be backed, he needs to be supported. But the whole 5 years you've been telling me, if Arteta wants him, I want him. But now all of a sudden, he doesn't have any backing. He doesn't get any of his players. They didn't say this when we signed Havertz. They didn't say this when we bought Trossard. They didn't say this when we bought Zinchenko. They didn't say this when we bought Jesus. They didn't say this when we bought Kivior. But now all of a sudden, the comfortable narrative is, it's not Arteta. It's the board. Well, the same board are the same people that gave him 800 M's. If they don't back a manager, we've seen an example of that in Unai Emery. Was he given time or money? No, he wasn't. He wanted Zaha, he got Pepe. You know what I'm saying? This is what they were giving him, and they gave him the bare minimum. And they didn't give him time. So we've seen an example after Wenger of when the club doesn't back a manager. Because Unai Emery got sacked, finishing 5th. This manager keeps his job, finishing 8th, 2 seasons in a row. 2 seasons in a row. You're telling me this manager ain't backed. This guy is backed. This guy has the money. I believe, in my opinion, they've given him the money and then said, listen, you've hit how much we are really willing to really spend big. We've given you 800 M's. We backed you when you wanted to buy Havertz. We backed you when you wanted to buy Calafiori and Moreno in the summer. We ain't giving you no more money. And I understand that, but at the same time, if that's the energy, then have that same energy at the end of the season. Because if you deem that he's had enough money to succeed, when he doesn't succeed at the end of the season, have that same energy to sack him. Because you can't tell him, oh, you don't have enough money, we ain't going to back it, but you can still keep your job. That's not accountability. You know what I mean? It's kind of like half-hearted, like, oh, we won't spend money, but we'll keep you in the job as long as you keep the fan base happy, the majority of the fan base happy. And that's why I put the blame on both. Yeah? Arteta didn't employ himself.
No.
They employed him. So that's on them. But at the same time, Arteta can't look at the board because they're the ones that gave you 800 M's. The way you chose to spend that, that's on you, bro. That's on you. Do you know what I mean? Yep. So I'm not hearing this conversation from this manager even trying to talk about the ownership because they gave you more backing than any other top team would really give a manager that's not accomplished anything in the game. So that's what I think, bro. Like Edu, just my last point on it. Apparently there was rumors about Edu left because of the power that Arteta had over him in getting players in. And then Arsenal fans tried to spin it and say, oh, but no, Edu left because of the money that Forest were offering. But who cares about the money? If Edu believes in the project and the process, why would he not just stay at Arsenal? Unless he doesn't really believe they're going to be successful. Surely, if he believed in the process and the manager and that Arsenal are going to win a major honour, that does great for him as a sporting director. Being the sporting director to a team that then goes on to win, that does a massive rebuild and goes on to win a Premier League title, all of a sudden your credentials in the game goes up here. So why would you leave that? You leave that because you don't believe in the team and that you don't have the power that was given to you as a sporting director to make the transfers, bro. So that's why he's left, in my opinion. It doesn't make any sense If Eddie really believed in this, why would you leave a club that you've now spent 5 years building, that you believe is going to win a title? It doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't make any sense, bro.
Yeah, do you know what? Arteta's a mess, and the reason why I say that is because he went from playing this expansive style of play, playing through teams and all of that, to then, okay, now that we've failed in the back end of that season, instead of like fixing the issue within that style, he went back all the way to the other style. And I've always said, if Gabriel and Saliba are so good, they can afford to still play high up the pitch. You just got to fix that style. You just got to play better defenders that can play high up the pitch. You got to get a striker. You got to play another midfielder when Xhaka leaves. Like, buy a midfielder that can facilitate that. But instead, you bought someone like a Declan Rice, for example, who 105 million, 1 year left on his contract. Obviously, there's a lot of West Ham fans here. There's obviously Arsenal fans here as well. From your perspective of the transfer, because obviously he's a former player now, he's returning again. Like, what has your perspective been since the transfers happened? How good do you think he is, and is he overrated, underrated? Like, what do you make of him?
For me, I think Declan Rice is a very good. He's a very good player at what he does, and in my opinion, he's somebody that is good at winning the ball back and giving it to a player that has the IQ and has the technical ability to progress and start a counter attack. The problem with Arsenal is when we try to get him to do the Partey role, I don't see any of those attributes. His long range passing isn't great, and it's not on the level of Partey. His reading of the game in terms of when he wins the ball back deep, just outside our box, is not on the same level of Partey. So I think for what he does, he's great. But once again, I feel like the fan base tried to make him be a player that he's not. And that doesn't mean that he's a crap player, because he's a good player. I like Declan Rice. I think he's actually a very good player. But he's one of them players like Paulinho. He's good at winning the ball back and then just passing it to somebody else that has that creativity. And I think at times, Arsenal fans, in my opinion, have wanted him to be something that he just ain't. And it's fine. Like, sometimes some players are very one-dimensional. I mean, we did get a good use out of him with, like, in terms of in the final third. I think Declan Rice is good when you whip crosses into the box. He's actually got a decent header. When he first came to Arsenal, he was scoring quite a few goals for us when we was whipping in crosses into the box, and he was getting a head onto it, and he was scoring a couple of goals. But he's not the type of player to receive it in outside the opposition box and slap one top bins or see the run from one of the front three and play that defense splitting pass. He's just not that kind of player. So he affects the final third differently to what I think Arsenal fans at times want him to affect the final third, i.e. a Thomas Partey. And like I said, that's what I mean. I don't think Declan Rice is trash, but I don't think he's world class. But I don't think he also can play the role that Partey plays within Arsenal. That's just how I feel about Declan Rice, man.
Yeah, from an outside perspective, obviously watching him at West Ham for years, like coming through our academy and stuff, and then going off to Arsenal, always said that he's like, I don't think Arsenal have a plan for him. I don't think Arteta has a plan for him. And the reason why I say that is because that you put it right perfectly, where winning the ball back and then distributing it to someone else is literally what he was good at West Ham. And it surprises me that he hasn't shown his long range passing, because that was one of the great things he did at West Ham. Was he wasn't like the best at breaking the lines or anything, but what he could do was shimmy away and hit it diagonally so we can go down the other wing and attack, which is something you don't really do at Arsenal, because Arsenal play a different way. You keep it short. You don't really play with that many long passes across and stuff. But I feel like with Declan Rice, if you guys have played like a Rice Partey pivot, for example, maybe give Wanyeri the freedom, like just in front, that would be a good midfield just to switch it up. And even in the big games, like that's very hard to get past the kind of midfield of that capabilities physically. Barrier asks a question for both: are you worried more about the squad quality / absent players between both teams, or tactical battle between both managers? I'll go first and say I'm not worried about the tactical battle necessarily. I trust this manager tactically, but I think for what this manager wants to do tactically, we won't be able to pull off with the current players that we have at this current moment in time, and the balance of players that are available to us at this current moment in time. They're not turning up. But also the likes of Somerville gives us a whole new dynamic who's absent. Even if Paquetá was fit, he hasn't been on it. He hasn't been on it. Neither has Mohamed Kudus. It's the big name players. I trust Jared Bowen, and maybe they'll start Evan Ferguson up front to put Bowen on the right, which is what I want. But I'm not particularly worried about that. And also with the absent players, when I look at it, Fulkrug is out. He was kind of always out of the season. Antonio's been out for a while. He's recovering still. He's back in the gym though, so shout out to Antonio. Somerville, that's the biggest miss for me. Paquetá hasn't been on it. Not really too much of a big miss at this current moment in time, but you want him on the bench rather than him being injured. You don't want anyone to be injured. And Vladimir Sufa is fucking useless. So there you go for that. But with you, bro, are you more worried about your absent players or is it tactical battle, as Barrier says here?
For me, it's more absent players. Like if we had all our players available, I would be more confident. Even though I've not been happy with the way that we're playing football, I'd be more confident just because of your club's weaknesses, which is the defense. I think that we could be able to do something, but with the way it's looking, bro, I'm not confident, bro, because the left side of our attack is completely dead.
Yeah,
the striker, bro, I think is the fan base hyping up something that's not going to be consistent once again. They never learn.
Marino. Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, bro, I just feel like Odegaard, there's nobody now to make him accountable because we have to start Ethan on the right-hand side as a winger.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's why like defensively, I'm okay. It's more the midfield and the attack, especially the attack. The midfield, I mean, Odegaard could turn up if you give him space. This is what I'm saying. A midfielder. A player that has to be under the right circumstances is a player that's not world class. And this is why I don't look at him as world class. Like, you can't just be turning up when you get space on the ball. You have to impose yourself. You have to make sure that you're there, especially as a captain. You're supposed to be setting the bar and the level for the players around you. And that's the thing. When the circumstances are in Odegaard's favor, you'll see a good performance from Odegaard. If you guys start muscling him up in the midfield, kicking him about, bro, go listen, bro. He's not up for it. And the attack. The attack ain't fluid. You know what I mean? The attack ain't fluid. I don't know if you saw the Leicester game. Our attack ain't fluid, bro. Like, Ethan is there trying to create things by himself. You know, Trossard is not been playing well. And on top of that, being played as a striker. Moreno, if he starts as a striker, I don't see him doing much because he's not a striker. So it doesn't take a rocket scientist to know that, that Leicester game, you know what I mean? That's the rule to the exception. And until he proves me wrong, if he proves me wrong, then I'll change my mind. But I just don't believe that he's going to be able to cut it as a striker and do what we need to do. And Sterling, I've lost. I never had any faith, and all faith is lost. So, yeah, bro,
and that's the thing, like, as you said, with no left-hand side, that's what Chick asked, but who is on the wing for Arsenal? Exactly, like with Sterling, if you're saying your left-hand side is fucked, that's what I actually trust on the West Ham point of view, is the right-hand side, is Wan-Bissaka. That man has not put a foot wrong for West Ham this season. And Sterling against Wan-Bissaka, we all know how that story goes. Wan-Bissaka's locked him up literally every time. And that's where it comes down to now. Like, Saka is out and you're still relying on the right-hand side because of Nwaneri. So would you put Marino up front then, due to last game? Who would you put up front with the options you have?
You got to start Moreno because he's the only one that's showing anything as a striker. You know what I mean? It's kind of like you're asking me, like, pick my poison. Do I go with Trossard that can't consistently perform as a striker? Or do I go with Moreno that scored a brace against Leicester, is in good form in that aspect, but isn't a striker? You're going to have to... I got my hands tied. Or you play someone from the academy, because Arteta said in the press conference today that he is looking to bring through any players from the academy. Strikers that we got in the academy, he is thinking of those options of bringing them in. I'm like... This is what I'm saying. This is where you are
now, like phase 5, and you haven't spent in the transfer window, and you're looking at academy grads. Which, listen, if your academy is like a top level academy, then it wouldn't be that bad to look at. However, it is a, don't get me wrong, Arsenal have a great academy, but it's not like world class or anything where you can just bring through anyone through the academy team and they just slot in straight away. It's very rare that you have a Wanyeri and a Lewis Skelly that can turn up with their kind of ability that they have. And that's the problem now. That's the thing. I watched the Leicester highlights. I couldn't catch the game, but when I watched the goals, I'm just thinking, it's cool. Marino scored those 2 goals, but that was more because of Leicester's defence, in my opinion. The amount of space he got for those 2 goals, despite our defence being shit, if we have Todibo back, I don't think you'll get that space. I don't think Marino will get that space. I think Arsenal will find another way to score. Maybe it'll be a shot from outside the box, etc. I think the way to play against West Ham, just cut it to the edge of the box from the wing. That is simple as that. And I feel like Odegaard, if he is on it, he can do that every now and then, but he's not really a kind of guy either to shoot. And you're meant to be an advanced player. You're meant to be an advanced midfielder. And to be fair, that's a problem with football in general. There's not enough players that shoot from outside the box. Like in Arsenal's team, the only one I can see shooting from outside the box is Wanyeri, and God forbid, maybe Calafiori, and he's a left back. So that tells you all you need to know. Shout out to Barry again. West Ham players and fans will be more up for it than the Arsenal players and fans at West Ham. Put more importance and hatred to this fixture. To be fair, do you know what it is? Without the Declan Rice thing, we don't actually have any hatred towards this fixture, unless you're going like back in the day. I remember my parents used to tell me about the Martin Keown chants at Upton Park. That's how far back we're going. But apart from that, there's not really that much hatred in this fixture. It's just a case of, just from my side, really. You're muted.
Apologies. I thought we got on like West Ham and Arsenal united through Tottenham hatred. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what it used to be. Like, do you know what it is? I can't speak for everyone, innit? Like, I know some West Ham fans are like that, but as I said, I grew up with Arsenal and Man United fans in my area. So if you weren't a West Ham fan, you was an Arsenal and Man United fan in my area, in my school. And I don't know, Arsenal fans are just pissing me off. They're just to keep saying, "No, you're 20th, you're this and all that." Because when we were in the relegation battles, then man, it was getting relegated, and Arsenal and Man United fans are just like, "Don't you support West Ham and all this?" I'm like, all right, cool, say less. That's why I fucking hate Arsenal and hate Man United, bro. That is hell going to school with Man United and Arsenal fans. Because even though you weren't, like, you were probably still complaining then because you weren't winning leagues all the time, but at the same time, you was way better than West Ham. And trust me, if you supported anyone in school, you're probably better than West Ham. And you're in East London, sort of Redbridge, Essex area, where it's just West Ham, Arsenal, Man United. There's a couple Chelsea, there's a couple Liverpool, a couple Tottenham, but it's just mainly Man United and Arsenal fans just laughing as well. But coming from my perspective into this game, like, I need to see these players turn up, man. Like, there's only so many times you could go at the manager this season. You've got a new manager that's trying to install a whole new style of play, and you're hiring him in the middle of January. What the fuck do you expect in the middle of a transfer window, in the middle of January, when the players are already drained by the previous terrorist that was already at this club, for you to have to put in your whole new imprint on this club? And I'm looking at big name players, and what you said about Odegaard is what I'm exactly like with Paquetá and Kudus right now, where I'm like, okay, we've given you enough of a blight when it's been the manager and when we think it's bad coaching, etc. But when are you going to turn up? When you're playing in your right position, when are you going to turn up? When are you going to stop like taking too many touches on the ball sort of thing? When are you going to release the ball? And I'm mainly looking at Mohamed Kudus because I know he's going to start regardless, but he shouldn't fucking start this game. Because I know a lot of opposition fans will be like, free Kudus, it's purely West Ham that Kudus is performing bad. And listen, I've been a person in the past where I've been like, these big name players don't perform well because it's us, we treat them wrong. But at the same time, we've put Kudus in this right position. It's not like we have this is one of the better West Ham teams I've seen in my lifetime. That's why I'm so pissed off this season that we're 16th. In my lifetime, this is one of the better West Ham teams overall. And we're 16th. And that says all you need to know. But it says all you need to know about the big name players. They have not turned up. I don't know whether Kudus' head is in somewhere else. I don't know why he's playing like a crackhead young Bane right now. I don't know. I don't know why he's playing like that. But he's taking too many touches of the ball. He's not shooting enough. He's not releasing the ball when it comes to a pass. And he put in a masterclass against Arsenal last season at the Emirates, but it's been a long time since then. It's literally been 12 months, 13 months since then. That was last December. I know some Arsenal fans may be afraid of West Ham coming to Emirates and getting a win like last year, but since then, 11 goals have been put in West Ham's net. So I'm not particularly aghast or anything. My only thing is, I actually think we can turn up somewhat defensively if we don't concede early, because Todibo's back. everyone knows what I think of Mavropanos. Kilman, Tadibo, Wan-Bissaka, Emerson's a good back four. If Ollie Skulls plays instead of Emerson, I trust him as well. That's another young player that... Listen, the last time Wanyeri and Skulls played, West Ham won the FA Youth Cup. So there you go. Play Ollie Skulls. But shout out to Charlie. Big up Michael on Northside. This Michael thing is not going to fucking stop, is it? I get you. But the underdog aspect is there. It is to an extent. It depends how complacent Arsenal will be. And this is the thing, Northside. I feel like compared to... When I look at Arsenal, the way they turn up in games, I feel like you guys turn up when people don't expect you to turn up. Now, when people do expect you to turn up, you don't turn up. Like Newcastle or Bournemouth, and you go those games like that. And that's probably why you lost like a lot of the games from last season, right in the first half of the start of the season. But what do you what do you think is going to fall down to this season if you don't win the league against Liverpool? And how confident are you of winning the league compared to like what Liverpool are doing right now? Because the narrative now is that Liverpool are dropping off. Because they're the top, everyone wants them to fall off. So the narrative now is Liverpool slipping, drawing against Villa, and Arsenal can capitalise against West Ham because they're playing Manchester City. But what do you think of that perspective?
I don't know how Arsenal fans can talk about consistency when we've been the epitome of inconsistency. Like even just this season alone, like you look at the games that we dropped points to. We dropped points against Everton. We dropped points against Brighton. We dropped points against Fulham. These are teams we should be beating, bro. Come on. Like, we should be beating them. Like, and then you look at, like, obviously the embarrassment that we got against Bournemouth. Like, and then you look at us even in the cups, getting kicked out the cup by United, getting kicked out the cup by flipping Newcastle. You know what I'm saying? That's beat us multiple times this season. These are all teams that we should be beating. I don't want to hear what anyone's got to say about it because it's 5 years deep, £800 million spent. Do not tell me it takes time. It is no. We should be in a position to be beating these guys. So this is the thing, bro. Like for me, I put it down to the manager showing his limitations. I think Arteta, he was asked in the press conference today about, you know, how come Arsenal have been in the title race the last 3 years and keep falling short? And he said small margins. Well, I would say the small margins is the squad building. The small margins is playing players out of position. The small margins is not accounting for players that are injured and the way that you manage players that are injured. Declan Rice this season being injured with a broken toe, you kept playing him. Ben White being injured, you kept playing him. Odegaard injured, you kept playing him. Saka was injured, you kept playing him. Saka being even able to get injured is down to you in the way that you've managed him as a player in terms of playing him every single game. Not actually having a backup to Jesus that's been injury prone for the last 2 seasons. Not getting a clinical goal scorer. Getting multiple left backs that aren't great as left backs. Zinchenko's a number 10, playing him at left back. Then you get Calafiori, just like Zinchenko, better going forward than he is defensive. This is the thing, and he talks about small margins. A couple of seasons ago, people said, "Oh, we bottled the league title because we had one of our centre backs out." Name me a centre back that competes with Gabriel and Saliba within this team. Just even competes. I'm not even saying gets over. Competes. Name me one.
There isn't one.
But we had this problem 2 years ago. So why has that not been addressed?
He thinks he's playing like old school Ultimate Team where you just add the squad fitness cards after you played one game because you can't just play with 11 men. Pause. Like you can't just have a starting 11 where they just play every single game. And everyone knows I watch the GVO show every Monday. I do a show with my friend Alfie, he's an Arsenal fan, and we've been calling out Arteta since the start of last season, well, since the end of last season, about Saka, about overplaying Saka. We've been saying this. And we're just fans that open StreamYard or whatever you use, open a stream, start a stream and talk. But Arteta's a manager who sees them out on a training pitch every day. And that's why you can't be a world-class manager if you can't manage a squad. It's quite simple as that. You're never going to be what people think you're going to be if you can't manage a squad. If when you're planning a squad, you can't evolve a squad. Pep Guardiola talks about it all the time. He has to change it up when he's winning. You can't even change it up when you're losing. Like, he has to change it up all the time. He had a Sane, Sterling, Aguero squad. Arteta was there. Arteta was there to see that. If he was this Pep protege or this even Wenger protege, you would know how to evolve your squad somewhat. You would know how to change it up a little bit. Charlie makes a point. 90% of the Arsenal fan base are the things that make Arsenal hated. Before social media, where a lot of weirdos got a voice. I liked watching Arsenal play. Arsenal were a cool team to watch. But it's just their fans. It was always been like that. Yeah, Kudus does have to take accountability. Kudus plays like a Dagenham Nitty. That's true. Someone tell him we buy him a bag of crack if he makes more than 2.5 yard passes. Arsenal haven't won 4 games in a row this season. I didn't know this until earlier today. So you guys haven't been able to go on that same run that you've been capable of going on for the past 2 seasons, really, where you used to win like 10, 12 games most of the time. Like up until the Villa game, I remember you guys winning most of your games within that run, and then that was the cutoff point where you dropped off. So what do you think has been the difference from this season to last season then? Is it just the squad becoming stale and the bad squad planning is finally being exposed due to the lack of transfer activity, or what you haven't addressed has come to light?
The over-reliance in the starting 11 is showing. Because now we're playing bench players. Why is it people? You can't say to fans like me that are deemed negative that the bench is fixed, and then when we're using the bench, you're not happy with the bench. You're basically just saying what I'm saying in a roundabout, in a genuine way. Like, the bench can't be fixed, but you're upset every single time we got to play them, bro. At the end of the day, the reason that we're not happy with Sterling playing as a left winger is because Trossard to play there, but Trossard didn't even been good enough. The reason that we're upset that Ethan is playing as a right winger is because we didn't go out there and get a competitive backup to Saka. Like, bro, everything is wrong, bro. Everything is everything is wrong. Arsenal, do you know what Arsenal are? Arsenal are the club here that's set up for the best scenario, and then are flabbergasted when things go sideways. In life, I've been through the credit crunch in 2008. We've had COVID that locked off everything. A lot of people lost their jobs. You learn to make sure you either invest money or you have money aside. But when the economy goes down, you should have the force. Cool. I've got something for a rainy day, or I'm in a position where I've got a good job, or it's a stable job, or it's a job that I'm doing something that's needed. And when there's cuts in the economy, what I bring to the economy is still needed. So I'm in a strong position. What Arsenal do is, it's never gonna be credit crunch. We're never gonna be in the economy is never gonna go down, and it does go down. Then we start going out of business, and then we start losing stocks, and then this is what Arsenal are like. They're always like, this fan base acts so shocked at the fact that Saka's injured, or that Havertz wasn't scoring goals for us in critical games, or that Jesus got re-injured, or that Odegaard is thinking there's nobody off the bench to compete with him. These are all things we knew going into the summer. But these men were happy because we had versatility with defenders.
Yeah.
So now you got what you wanted. We got versatility when it comes to defenders. And we still don't have a backup for a centre-back, which is something that I brought up. So this is what you wanted. When I was talking about, what about midfield? What about the strike? What about the wing? You're being negative. Why are you complaining? Just get behind the team. Just back the squad, back the manager. This is why they're getting excited about Moreno, because they're scared to be proven wrong again. That's what it is. They're postponing the inevitable. It's like, well, you guys try to call us out, but we got Moreno. That's all it is, bro. That's all it is. Arsenal, bro, always reactive, never proactive. Never proactive.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
That makes a lot of sense, because it reminds me of Arsenal, like that one guy in the club staring at the women in the corner, but on their phone, then looking up to see if they do anything, and then they're standing in that one place for the whole night, and then they're wondering, all their friends are getting something, but why am I not getting something? Well, you stood in the same place for the whole night. What did you expect? She was on your phone. It's on your phone, lad. What did you expect? West Ham have lost the 37 Premier League games versus Arsenal, more than they have against any other club. Fantastic. That gives me even more confidence going into this game. Brilliant. But that's kind of the problem. I can count on one hand probably wins that I've seen in my lifetime against Arsenal. In fact, every game that I've gone to, like the last 3 games I've gone to face Arsenal at home, have been batterings. Like, I didn't even go to the 2-2. I didn't go to the fucking 2-0, the 1-0 when Declan Rice scored with his square-headed haircut against Unai Emery at the time. I didn't watch that. I wasn't there. So brilliant. But that's the thing. I know the problem is I don't know where the goals are coming from. Like, we talk about your attack versus our defense, which could be a shit show in itself, a shit show in terms of quality. But then we talk about the reverse of that. Our attack versus your defense. Now, one thing you guys are actually quite good at is defending. Now, I'm not saying it's like as good as these top gooners have been saying, but that's one of your strengths. That's still one of your strengths. With the way Lewis Skelly's playing right now, Gabriel and Saliba at their best are like can perform a masterclass when they can. Maybe overrated by the Arsenal fans for sure, but they're still good on that day. And Jiri and Timber at right back done quite well this season from what I've seen. So that's why I've got to look at the rest of the attackers. I'm not necessarily looking at Jared Bowen because I know Bowen's going to turn up. Bowen will turn up. It's just a matter of whether we have to completely rely on him for a goal or not. Now, Ferguson, if he starts up front, I feel sorry for the guy. Because this is going to be your first start and you're going to have to come up against that centre-back partnership. But at the end of the day, you're coming out on loan to get game time, turn up, like, good luck. And then Guilherme hopefully plays on the left. If it's Kudus on the left, yeah, lock it off. Good night. Like, say goodbye to that fucking 3 points or whatever you was hoping to get before the game. Because Mohamed Kudus on the left, or Mohamed Kudus just in general this season hasn't been good enough. So I think we can get a draw. Shout out to yourself, shout out to Charlie, shout out to views, hit the likes, and we can set up a stinky low block. That's what I'm hoping. Low block and maybe hit them on the counters is probably our best bet at this current moment in time. Similar to how we set up against Chelsea, that's the only way we're going to able to get anything against you guys. Because if we just put Wan-Bissaka on Sterling and then just defend deep, and if Tanibo plays, I think we can stay concentrated and maybe you'll find it hard to get a goal. My thing is as well, Alvarez, someone like an Edson Alvarez needs to be disciplined because if you can put him on Odegaard and do a successful job by keeping tight to him, Odegaard can be nullified. I was referring to this in my stream earlier with hooks. These modern day number 8, number 10 creative / players, if you just put a player on them, they're stifled throughout the game. It's not like when we were watching David Silva and Santi Cazorla where they wanted the ball, where they were being man-marked. So you can spin them away and they would create their own space by being marked tight. Where there's like an Odegaard, a Bruno Fernandes, a Cole Palmer, whoever it is in modern day football, all you need to do to nullify these players is put a player on them. So that Odegaard is quite overrated in that sense because I remember in the 2-0 last season, that's what we did against you. We put Alvarez on Odegaard. We didn't see him in the game. Like, you guys created chances, but it wasn't through him. Like, would you say there's going to come to a point where Nwaneri takes over Odegaard's place in the team? And how good do you think Nwaneri is? And how far do you think he can go? Because he's taken the league by storm, like, when he plays. He's one of the few players I'm looking at. Like, you can shoot from outside the box and you're willing to shoot from outside the box. You look like a player that could have played 10, 15 years ago because of your talent. You're not a system player. You're an individual talent. And it's very rare we see a player like that in football. But how far do you think he could go?
Bro, I feel like he's just not going to be given the opportunity to really kick on under this manager. Like, I feel like the manager, I agree with you. I don't think it's a lack of talent. It's favoritism within the squad, bro. I think that's what's going to slow him down. Kind of like Cole Palmer being slowed down by Man City and them not giving him an opportunity over there. He's not being given the platform because youngsters, they need a platform, bro, to kick on. Listen, I never wish on injuries, but obviously the injuries have worked in his favor to obviously get more game time because he was, before the injuries, bro, we was only starting him in the cups and he was only getting about 10 minutes off the bench. And even in some of those 10 minutes, he was scoring last-minute winners, bro. That's the thing. It's crazy. And yet he was being treated like that. It's like, Arteta's so poor. But I feel like he's just so much better in everything that Odegaard is. In everything I want from Odegaard. The directness, the decision-making, seeing an opportunity to shoot. Playing the right pass at the right time, press resistant. You know what I'm saying? I'm seeing him being more press resistant than Odegaard. Odegaard's so easily barged off the ball, so easily dispossessed. And that's the thing I like about Ethan is like he's a number 10 that makes that starts to scare defenders because they don't know. Give him space or shoot. Lay off of him, he'll pick up a pass. Like even the assist from Mikeytimmo Moreno, that was from Ethan. Do you know what I mean? Like this is the ability of the player. And the thing is, I'm not going to overgas it. I'm not going to say it's world class or anything. But when you see a talented player, you want him to be given a platform to push on and see how good he is. The problem is Odegaard's the captain, and I feel like that captain's armband shields him from a lot of critique that should come his way. And that's why he's just not going to be dispossessed out of the team, bro. Like I feel like the undroppables of this team is Saliba, Gabriel, Odegaard, and Saka. They're your undroppables.
Yeah. I feel like I'm surprised people haven't set up more game plans against him, because I feel like Odegaard's one of the most easiest players to play against, despite him being. He's still, in my opinion, one of your better players on the surface, because I don't think a lot of your players turn up. Because Gabriel, Saliba, and Saka are probably the best three, but then again, like Partey, like he's up there when he on his day. Declan Rice is up there on his day. Odegaard doesn't turn up in big games. He's another one. When I talk about modern day number 10s or modern day advanced 8s, creative midfielders, whatever you want to call this bollocks, like they don't turn up in big games. We need to see the creative players in general. How we used to look at like the past great teams was the best players that were creative would turn up on their day in the biggest of games, on the biggest stages, in the Champions League or in the Premier League, in the title-winning games. I've not seen Odegaard do that once. Like, I don't think Odegaard has turned up against a Man City, for example, until the 5-1, when Man City aren't a title contender anymore. I don't think Odegaard is the kind of guy to turn up at Anfield, where you're competing for the league with Liverpool. He's the kind of guy to hide. He doesn't show for the ball. He doesn't take the game by the scruff of the neck. There's more reliance on you to do that because you're meant to be a creative player. That's the whole point of why people look at you. Fans also pay money to watch players like you. So they expect more from you anyway, subconsciously. If you're meant to be, they don't pay to watch a centre back. No one's going to the stadium to watch centre backs. No one. They're going to watch Odegaard. They're going to watch Saka. Turn up in the big games. At least Saka won't hide in the big games. I'm not saying he turns up in every big game, but he won't hide. Odegaard hides. As simple as that. Big up to Wasim again. Question for Northside. If Arteta fails this season, then is it time for him to go?
100%. 100%. I'd sack him right now. Like I don't want him to be here, bro. Like I don't even need to wait to the end. Do you know when you already know how you feel about a manager and you just like, bro, like I don't mind changing my mind, but I know I'm gonna be proven right. I've seen enough. I've seen enough. I don't need to wait. And that is the most frustrating thing when you're just like, bro, when is the axe gonna fall? Because I just bro, I don't know if you look with your previous manager, you probably felt the same. Facts. Yep.
Bro, but I knew I wasn't gonna be proven wrong though. I knew he was going to be proven wrong. This is why we call him the well, I call him, not you guys in the chat, but some of you call him much worse. I call him the Sangria Spastic. I did on Lewis's channel, and that's become the nickname ever since. That's why I've literally got Survived Lopetegui below the name. We did a whole celebration stream from when he left. I know how it feels, trust me. I've gone through too many managers, where I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like, I've seen Bilic, Pellegrini, Avram Grant, boys at the back end of his reign, and then Lopetegui. How I have a hairline, I don't know. But anyway. However, Potter has won 3 of his 4 games against Arsenal and the Emirates. Only Pep Guardiola and Jurgen Klopp have won more at the stadium as a visiting manager. Well, this is the problem. I wish records went positive like this for West Ham. Every time these records come up, it's always like West Ham that break these fucking records. But we always just carry on the records that go against us and never break the records that go for us. Shout out to Barry. A question for both. What's your favourite West Ham versus Arsenal moment? Fucking hell, there isn't many for me. It's probably that game at the start of 15-16 season where Reece Oxford's debut, Dimitri Payet's debut, when we beat Arsenal 2-0. Reece Oxford bursted onto the scene at 16. He was the youngest debutant at the time. He pockets him as an Ozil. We couldn't stop fucking going on about it at the time. And that's the one for me. There hasn't been many. We've won against you like 5 times. We won against you like 5 times in the whole league. It was like the last game of the Emirates. First, like, what was it? First game at Highbury, sorry. First game at the Emirates and stuff like that as well. So there isn't many for me. And just before you get into yours, big up to Lewis for the raid. Shout out to Lewis. Big out everyone here. Shout out to Lewis for the raid, man. Much appreciated. That's a living La Vida process. What's your favourite Arsenal West Ham moment? This isn't really a fixture that sticks up for Arsenal fans. But
it's not really. Like the one that comes to mind the most is probably Thierry Henry, that wonder goal against you in 2002. Thierry Henry. Well, that was a bad boy goal. That's probably it's not really one that like there's loads of moments that I'm like, yo, like that was a sick moment. Like, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
really against you
Yeah.
lot. But yeah, that goal from
Yeah.
Thierry against you lot in 2002, bad boy goal. You know what I'm saying? Bad boy goal. But it ended in a draw.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's the thing. It's not when people say but I hate the phrase but it's a London derby. They say that for every fixture. It'll be like West Ham Fulham. It's a London derby. I don't care about Fulham. I don't care about Craven Cottage. I don't care about Loftus Road. I don't care about Brentford. Like literally the only teams I hate. Well, I hate Arsenal, but it's not because of West Ham. It's because of me. I hate Chelsea and Tottenham. No offense to Chelsea fans out here. Probably the worst time to say that, but legit. Like those are the fixtures, and but it's a London derby. Like fuck that, man. Who cares? Like, just turn up, man. You gotta turn up anyway. Like if the players actually cared about a fucking London derby, they turn up in every fixture. These players would turn up in more fixtures. They turn up against the Brentfords. They go to the Brentford Community Stadium and actually turn up, but they're not looking at the Brentford Community Stadium and being like, it's a London derby. I'm really feeling it. Like, nah, man. You know it's a London derby, but it's no London hatred. Exactly. London derby and a London rivalry is different. Like, that's why derbies and rivalries get misconstrued. Like, Palace Brighton is a rivalry. It's not a derby, but it's a rivalry. They hate each other, but it's not local. Even people want to do M23 and all this. I don't know what the fuck that is. I don't care. Like, what's a proper hammer and Kunku raid? Shout out to everyone that's here. Shout out to Lewis for the raid every single time, people. Make sure you're smashing the like button. Northside's link is in the title. If you're not subscribed to Northside already, his link is in the title. And subscribe if you're new. We're trying to reach 1K this year. And also 800 in this month. So thank you for the support as of recently. But honestly, when you look at this, when you look at the lineup that you've lined up over the recent times as well, what is like, has there been players that have been also mistreated at Arsenal, apart from Wanyeri, that you feel like should get more of a start? Or do you just not have enough players in your squad for you to even rotate that much?
Players that have been mistreated, if I'm being honest, Tierney. I think Tierney's been mistreated. I think Tierney's been mistreated, but it is what it is. His contract's running out. He's going. Other than that, other than Ethan, not really. I mean, Partey being played at a position, I was never a fan out of that. Playing Partey at right back, I was never a fan of doing that. I just don't understand what's the point. It takes away from the midfield so much and doesn't offer a lot as a defender. Always had the opportunity to get cooked. So it's like, well, why? Especially another player that his contract's running out as well. That's not a way to get him on side or to be like, okay, you know, sign another year extension or something else like that. You know, when you're playing him as right back. But other than that, not really, bro. Because last season it was more. I was on this. Trossard should get more minutes because he was performing. But I'm not going to defend him this season because he's not been consistent enough for me to defend him. Even though I like the player, not been consistent enough. So. That's the thing, whether I like a player or not, if you're not playing, I'm not defending you. If you're playing, then give me something to defend because the performances are there. When you're not, then I'm sorry, I ain't going to defend it. I think Ethan was the only one. Lewis Skelly, to be fair, has started a lot more games in the Prem than Ethan. So I thought Ethan was really the main one. But now the manager's forced to play him. So, yeah.
Yeah. That's the thing. We talked about Arteta a lot, misusing the squad and stuff like that as well. Like, people always will ask any content creator that is like manager out or anything, but who would you get? So I'm going to ask you this question hypothetically. If Arteta was to go, who would be your ideal manager that you think would realistically come to Arsenal that you could attract?
I think if we were serious and we said, yo, we're going to give you the same level of support that Arteta got, I think we can get a Simeone. You know, it's hard for people to tell me that you can't get a top manager when I've seen Ancelotti go to Everton.
Yeah.
When I've seen Conte go to Tottenham, when I've seen Mourinho go to Tottenham, you know, and people may say, oh yeah, Mourinho wasn't at the peak of his powers going to Tottenham. It's still Mourinho.
Still Tottenham as well. No one was still Tottenham.
You get me? You know what I mean? And Conte is at the peak of his powers and he went to Tottenham.
Yeah.
So it's like, you've seen other clubs, you know, even when they're smaller clubs than Arsenal, getting better managers. It's hard for someone to tell me, oh, you can't get any better than Arteta. I think Ruben Amorim is a very good coach, but I think he's in a club that is completely like distraught. It's completely tattered. I think Ruben Amorim is perfect for a club like in the state that we're in right now. I think Ruben Amorim you'd see a lot more from him if he came into an Arsenal state right now. Not saying that I'd get Ruben Amorim. But the fact that Man United can still attract the Ruben Amorim, and he's a good manager. We'll see if he's good enough for the Prem, but he's a good manager. Now, let's not go on like we didn't see Sporting perform against Man City in the Champions League, or we ain't seen him win league titles. He's a good manager. But is he good enough within that situation? We're yet to see. But yeah, man, Simeone is definitely one. Inzaghi is definitely one. Let's not forget that Inter Milan, they sell their best players. They don't keep their best players. Most of the time, they have to sell their best players to balance their books. So that's why Conte left them. Because he built a winning team, and then next season, they're like, we're going to sell the best players. And he's like, I'm bouncing then, isn't it? So
yeah, of course.
Inzaghi is going to be going through the same situation at Inter. And they're a very good team, very well-coached team. They've got to Champions League final before. We can attract Inzaghi if we're serious. That's the thing. We spend money. The thing that's missing at Arsenal is the ownership making the people that are running the club and the football sense accountable, and actually backing the right manager. Because if Unai Emery got the backing that Arteta got, he would have won me a Europa League. He got me a Europa League. He got to a Europa League final with a team that needed to be rebuilt. So no one can't tell me that the money that he spent probably doesn't win me the league. He's gonna win me a Europa League. And I told you what, bro, we ain't won nothing in Europe, innit? So if we win a Europa League, I'm celebrating like a Champions League. Because we ain't got Europa League like that.
Yeah, that's completely understandable.
That's why you was excited.
Oh yeah, of course, man. Like, listen, I don't think people understand, and listen, it's West Ham. But bro, when that goal went in, people will be like, "What? How did you react when the goal went in?" I stood there frozen. I was frozen. I was getting a drink. I was getting a drink from the kitchen. I'll come back into my living room and I just stand there. I nearly dropped my fucking glass, bro. Like, I am just standing there like, end the fucking game now. I swear to God, end the game now. And then I went and got pissed up and I went to the parade the next day. That's literally what I did. Like, this is the thing. Trophies are everything in football, but trophies are more important for a team that can capitalize upon what they have. So, for example, Man City set off a winning mentality by winning the Carabao Cup first, so you know what the trophy feeling's like under Pep Guardiola, and then they gone on to win what they've won. Same with Jose Mourinho, takes the Carabao Cup very seriously as a starting point. And it's more important when you're a team like Arsenal, when you've got Saka, Saliba, Gabriel performing at the peak of their powers at the current moment in time that we're seeing them, to go and take these trophies seriously. To go and win when you're already competing at the top. And people can be like, oh, but what if it makes them drop off in the league? Well, we saw Arteta put his eggs all in one basket, and look how that's worked out. Now they left with nothing. At least if you left with FA Cup, for example, at least a couple seasons ago, that would have been enough. But I can completely understand, as good as the FA Cup is, and important as the Carabao Cup is in the grand scheme of things, to set off a winning mentality, why that wouldn't be enough in the 5th year of Arsenal's of Arteta's career at Arsenal. Because no one's waiting 5 years for a Carabao Cup, especially the fans, the Arsenal fans that were wanting Wenger out for winning FA Cups and top 4 only. I understood why Arsenal fans wanted Wenger out at the time, because, like, I get it, you want to win the league. When Arsenal last won the league, I was 1 year old. I was turning 1 year old. That's how long it's been. I am 21 now. I've got a part-time job. I've done a lot. I've been to school, college, done a lot of things since then. I've opened up a YouTube channel. I've done a lot, and Arsenal haven't won a Premier League. So I can completely understand why Arsenal fans would still be pissed off, especially people like you, and people like Lee, people like my mate Alfie as well, on why it's not enough. As much as take the competition seriously, so it sets a precedent. That's the whole point. Man called me an unk, you know. It's 21 and unk. How old are you, Arthur? If 21's an unk, how old an unk?
I'm 32.
Bro, listen, it's TikTok especially, bro. They'll make it like, listen, don't go on TikTok comments, yeah? There's not even the fact they're brutal, they're fucking stupid. Because, listen, they'll call you an unk, and they called me Fabianski. They've called me everything. Like, I do not look like Fabianski. I've had like the allegations aren't true. I'm not related. I'm not Polish either. So don't call me Fabianski. Listen, I do not look like him. I've had a lot of people call me that since that TikTok comment. I was like, no, it's just a TikTok comment. It's like, and people are like, no, I can actually see it. You know, I can actually see it. What do you mean you can actually see it, bro?
Nah, you look more like Tim Cahill.
Tim Cahill? What the fuck?
That's what you look like. Tim Cahill, bro. I'll be real. That's what you look like, bro.
Tim Cahill.
You do look like Tim Cahill. Oh, in the chat, let me know. I lie, he looks like Tim Cahill.
Oh, fuck off, man. Fuck off, man. Tim Cahill hype, man. What the fuck? That's an Uncle Gramps, you know. Yeah, Fabianski's not even like, bruv. Tim Cahill, you know. I don't even look. I don't even. He doesn't even look Australian. Let alone I look Australian. Like
Bro,
fucking
now
hell.
I've got braids in my hair. Ain't no one calling me ain't no one calling me Van Dijk anymore. Thank God. You know what I mean? Actually, I didn't really care about the Van Dijk thing.
bro, you know, like growing up in my era of school, there's two footballers that girls would get called. If you were a tall girl, you get called Van Dijk. If you're a girl with a big forehead, you get called Javinho. Bro, any girl with a big, like, if you're my age, and tell me I'm lying, chat, especially in England, you're growing up in school, girl with the biggest forehead got called Javinho. Especially at the peak of FIFA powers as well. When Javinho's at Arsenal, then FIFA 15, when Javinho's OP, Javinho. You point to the nearest girl with the biggest forehead. You got a Javinho. That's literally, you've got a Javinho. That was the phrase. like, literally. Like, when people forget, the reason why Ten Hag was liked after his first season, got Man United a trophy after a 7-year wait in his first season, that without hindsight starting a winning mentality. This is the thing. If Ten Hag had capitalized upon that to go on and win more things, you could look at that Carabao Cup to set the precedent. But the problem is, they don't follow it up with their league position as well. That's the difference. Arsenal are in that position where they're at the league position, but you're not leaving with anything. A second wouldn't look so bad if you won a trophy. Because look at, I think it was Prime that actually made the point. Klopp, every time he competed with Liverpool for a Premier League title, apart from one season, left with something. He left with an FA Cup, a Carabao Cup, and a Champions League. Or they got to the Champions League final. I know getting to the final and losing means fuck all because you lost. But if you got to the Champions League final, at least you can actually have a little bit more hope to thinking that you could go again. But you're not even doing that. You're not even reaching the bare minimum of what you're meant to. And listen, I'm not lying about the Javinho thing. So there you go. There you go. He looks like the child of Fabianski and Tim Cahill. Oh, fuck off, man. Like this guy, man. Ah, fuck's sake, man. Fabianski and Tim Cahill. That's the new one now. You started a whole new reign, bruv. Started a whole new reign. This is just a get back because people call you Rafinha, isn't it?
Huh?
This is just a get back.
I can't even.
I don't think so either. I don't think so either. But that's what people call you, innit? It's getting the get back, innit? You got to deflect on someone else, man. Like Lee gets called my manager, fucking Potter. So I don't think that's completely fair, to be honest. He's just gonna sabotage.
Nah, he does look very similar to Potter.
Yeah. Him, Potter and Palmer. That family. There's a family tree there that we don't see often. We've never seen Palmer.
And Gary Lineker.
Gary Lineker.
He does. Lee looks like Gary Lineker. I told him this. He knows this.
Gary Lineker. Oh, yeah, it could have been worse. You could have said he looks like Wayne Lineker.
Cheese and onions. Yeah, Chris sandwiches as well. I'm sure.
A big up to Lee. He's definitely Millwall Tim Cahill.
So you can hold that.
This is definitely Millwall Tim Cahill. That makes it even worse as he's a former Millwall player. So that makes it even fucking worse. As the CB gets called Lavia, Jesus Christ. Leighton Orient Fabian. How does that make any sense? What have I got to do with Leighton Orient? Like, please, I'm not even from Leighton. I'm not from Leytonstone. None of that. So you can't even do all of that. Lee Gunner is a spitting image of a Graham Potter twin. There you go, man. Unfortunately, Lee has a lot of lookalikes. Luckily, I don't. I do not look like Fabianski, and I definitely don't look like fucking Tim Cahill. I'll tell you that for sure. I don't look like none of these, man. Instead of should be playing in prime David Moyes.
Virgil van Vape. Virgil and what's it? Virgil van Vape. That was
Virgil.
That crap.
Expressions started that.
Yeah, it was expressions, man. That too freaking Chris Rock. That was him, bro. That was him. You know what I mean? Big up X here, but I don't think I'll go anywhere. You know what I mean? That was him. He was the first one to start that, bro.
Once expressions calls you something, it sticks. That's the problem.
Bro.
That's the problem because he's like the king of that. But that's the people call him Nelson Semedo and Deontay Wilder. So there's also that one as well. Like that's a Craig Wonder spot. Who you call? You better not be calling me Pochettino. I'll tell you that for sure. I do not look like Pochettino. Like you're just saying I look like anyone now. I might as well be a default pro character now. Like at this point. That's what I might as well be. You might as well say I look like a default character you can make on FIFA. You might as well say I look easy to draw and shit like that. That's what you might as well say. Because I do not look like Pochettino, because Pochettino's fat. Tim Cahill is Millwall. What's a Timo yeah, these Chelsea fans, bro.
That's also a spitting image of Rafinha. Bro, listen, if we're related, I ain't Brazilian, innit? If we're related, bro, let me know. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm tired of waking up in the morning, bro, to work, man. You know what I mean? If we're related, bro, I'm hitting the jackpot.
Yeah,
So
give me your money, bro. I'd rob him, bro. If it was my cousin, I'd just rob him.
it's the hairstyle. It's the
Mm,
hairstyle and
mm.
the skin color's close. That's all it is. Other
Bro,
than that, I don't really like him. You know what I mean,
bro, you're lucky that you don't get put like Rafinha against Espanyol or some shit. It just has a picture of you on Twitter. Like, you know, one of the memes that happens. It happened. Unfortunately, it happened to Lewis with Isak. I saw that get reposted. Like they said, like every Isak had a bad game and they put Lewis's picture. I don't see that one either. Like, that's a viral. That's a Mike looks more like Areola. Okay, yeah. All right, say less. Even though Areola is part Asian and people think I look like from that part of Asia, but I'm not from there either. So
you do.
there you go. Yeah, I get that a lot though. I get that a lot. People from work thought I was Chinese, so I hear it.
Now, for me, it's more like Filipino or like those like that kind of Asian looking. Like I feel like and I worked around a lot of Filipinos. You look very or even from Nepal.
Yeah, I've got a friend from Nepal.
Yeah,
but I'm not from any of those countries. I'm from a lot of countries. I'm from none of them. Like so, there you go, bro. There you go. I'm not even from that part of Asia. I said, yeah. By the way, Norsa, come back to Colombia. The people will make you happier than your football team. Barrio is Colombian. Yeah, actually, you went to holiday in Colombia. How was that?
it was nice, man. Very nice. Very nice. Colombia's very nice, man. You know what I mean? You don't look for no trouble, you won't get no trouble. Just like anywhere in the world.
Yeah, literally anywhere.
You won't get no trouble. Like I feel like, yeah, man. There's so much that Colombia have. I will be doing whenever I get time. I will be doing two live streams and showing everything I saw and stuff like that. But yeah, man, I feel like Colombia is nice, man. It's sad that so many people that don't know anything about Colombia just talk about drugs. There's so much that country has to offer and so much history that it's like no one even talks about that. Like, you know what I mean? So it's a beautiful country, man. It's a beautiful country. I recommend anyone go there. And yeah, man, the weather just so nice, bro. Like, so nice.
Hot weather, yeah.
Bro, the weather's just so nice, man. Like, bro, I'd rather just go back, man. You know what I mean? I didn't have to talk about Arsenal too much. It was nice.
Bro, that's the best, man. Like, Joe, is every time West Ham play, I'm like, why did I become a content creator? Like every, it's literally a gift and a curse. Like half the back end of last season and this season, it starts with the West Ham stream and it goes completely left because I've said all I need to say about West Ham, and I'll go completely left about something. That's why we run off and just start coming up with analogies and shit. But that's why I need to get out of this fucking country immediately because I'm going Greece in like June or some shit. Yeah, that would be nice. To get away from West Ham a bit. West Ham are playing. It's a hot country.
Yeah, like, let me know if it's good.
Yeah, because it's meant to be like because it was cheaper, and we got. I won't say too much, but we got a place where it's like it's good for the money's worth and stuff like that as well. Mm-hmm. So and there's like 8 of us going, so that should be fun. We're staying for like a week. So first time out of the country in fucking years, bro. I haven't been out of the country since primary school. I went like Disneyland Paris when I was a kid, and Spain when I was a kid. I went to Spain. What's it? Alicante. I went to Alicante when I was like in year 2. My mum pulled me out of year 2 for like a week. It's like, get out of here, brother. That's why I got on holiday. We went on holiday to like Alicante near Barcelona for like a week. That was fun as fuck, bro. I was just a kid just walking in the sun, bro. You know, all my fucking friends are learning about what? Like Henry VIII and some nonsense, bro. Get out of here, man. I'm in Spain. Shout out to Jerry and pick up my guys, bro. I said, kick Mavropanos in while you're there. Bro, if I see a mural, yeah, best believe I'm pissing on that shit, man. I'm pissing on a mural of Mavropanos. I'll tell you that for sure, man. Don't do a Maguire. Don't do a Maguire in Greece, you know. Do you know what it is? Anyone with that head shape, you can't trust around anyone. I'm sorry. Anyone with that head shape has anger issues. Anyone with that massive square head, they've got anger issues. Maybe a person with a square head that's just calm. That's a chill guy. They've got that head shape for a reason, bro. They've got that head shape for a reason. It's because it was stress even getting them out in the first place. That's the truth. And then they just lash out on anyone. They were starting boxing when they were making like toy guns at 1 year old and shit. That's when you know they're a problem. They become people like Maguire or like King Von. Man's gonna take Mavropanos there and keep him there, bro. Mavropanos, please don't see me in Greece. Don't go back to your hometown if I'm there. I beg, man. I beg, yeah, because we're fighting. I'm about Michael gonna get on a Malibu in Greece. You lot still remember that fucking Malibu stream, yeah? Jesus Christ! On my birthday in like July, I was like, fuck it, I'll do a Q&A and shit. I just started drinking too much Malibu, bruv. Straight as well. I just started drinking Malibu straight. I finished like 3/4 of the bottle. Turned off the stream. 2-hour Q&A session. Threw up. Threw up for like 8 hours. So you lot still remember that, yeah? Say less, bruv.
Get on the Maggies, man. Get on the Maggies. Trust me, it's calm.
I did that in Christmas. I did that on Christmas. I did that during Southampton West Ham. Yeah, I'm glad I was on the Maggies during Southampton West Ham because we beat them fucking 1-0. How do you only beat Southampton 1-0, man? I'm glad I was at least slightly waived. I should have had more, but boss man moving mad with the prices on fucking Magnums, man. Fuck, you know, if there's a Mavropanos mirror, I understand why the country ran out of money. Fuck, you know, Michael couldn't nipple your ankles. What the fuck? Chihuahuas are dangerous too. What, in Greece? Fucking no, I've got to just make sure I just don't toe punt one. Like, just don't toe punt one away. Or might set their dogs on me, you know. But listen, people, make sure to subscribe. Listen, we're just under 20 away from 800 subscribers. Just under 20 away from 800 subscribers. We're trying to reach 1K before the Prem season ends, people. That's the main goal this year. Before the Prem season ends, 1K. So if you're not subscribed already, please subscribe. No side, before we end, your prediction, bro, for the game. Your honest prediction for Arsenal versus West Ham United.
I'm going 1-1.
Wow. I reckon we get a draw.
I think the defense is enough to make us so we don't lose, but your attack is inconsistent enough that I don't think you're gonna really trouble our defense. But yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I can't make my mind up between how poor we are in terms of our midfield and attack. I can't see us getting a win, and with your defense that's leaky, even though we're not great, I can still see us stinking out, you know, getting a goal at least in the game, whether it's from a set piece or something. So yeah, man, I think a draw. Both teams have too many deficiencies, so I think they're just going to end up cancelling each other out. Either 1-1 or a 0-0. I'm more leaning towards a 0-0, to be honest. I don't see who's going to score for you, and I don't really see who's going to score for us. So yeah, apart from maybe Gabriel. So I'll just go 1-1. I'll go 1-1.
Yeah. If we don't make a mistake, it'll be 0-0. But I'm going to say 2-0 at Arsenal. I've been saying that on the stream of Hooks. I said that on Josh's video as well. I'm going 2-0 Arsenal. 2-0 Arsenal. I just see it being a case of Arsenal don't have goals in them, but West Ham have mistakes in them. So that'll be a case for both of the goals. I can see an Alvarez, Mavropanos mistake as well. On the subject of Mavropanos, he'll think he was playing for Arsenal again. That's why I said Mavropanos can get a brace in this game. It'll be for Arsenal. Simple as that. 1-1 from Charlie as well. I know Charlie, I know you've been saying for weeks that we could get something from the Arsenal game. But listen, I'm not taking a draw. I don't take a draw against anyone. We haven't won in ages. I don't care if it's Prime Barcelona. I don't take a draw. I hate that phrase. It's the worst one. The worst phrases in the fan base. Get me a win. Get me a win, and then I can be unbearable for one day. Then I can be depressed for the rest of the season again. Just give me that one day of greatness. That's a 2-1 West Ham. I fucking wish. But 2-0 Arsenal. 2-0 Arsenal. Northside, where can I find you? What you got coming up? Obviously, your link's in the title, but what have you got coming up?
Now, big up, man. The home of Toxic and Negative, Northside LDM. You know what I mean? On YouTube. And yeah, man, that's where you can find me. Live streams every day. Tomorrow, obviously, going to be a match reaction. So yeah, man. Big up, man. Love for having me on, bro. And big up to the chat as well. And let's come on, man. Subscribe to Mikez, man. He's putting the work in. You know what I mean? And yeah, man. Big up to you, bro. Because I know YouTube ain't easy. It looks so much easier from the other side when you're just chilling like this and watching. You know what I mean? When you're putting the work in, it's like, yo, it's not easy. So big up to you, man. And just keep pushing, man. Keep pushing and just keep finding different ways to interact. And you'll get there, man. You know what I mean? Something that Rance told me, sometimes you grow fast, sometimes you grow a bit slower. You just keep being consistent enough to the point where when you're growing fast, you maximize that. So yeah. Man, big up.
No, I appreciate you joining, man. I appreciate you joining, and love for the kind words as well. Listen, people, this isn't the end of the streams as well. At 10 p.m, we're live with Alfie. Everyone that watches this channel on a regular knows Alfie. We're live usually every Monday with Alfie. Alfie is a bit more to the toxic and negative side as well. So we kind of know what his thoughts are, but listen, that's going to be a fun stream. That'll be at 10 p.m, people. If you haven't checked out the video from yesterday where I spliffed the West Ham owners, go and check that out as well, because listen, Karen Brady, mate, you're fired. As she is from The Apprentice, I think that's quite fitting in itself. But listen, people, if you're not subscribed already, make sure to subscribe and subscribe to Northside. This link is in the title. Obviously, he's got a stream, and people are going to be like, what about when you didn't talk about the UCL draw? Northside's doing a stream on that already. So go and check that out as well. Live at 9, people. But listen, shout out to everyone in the chat. 26 likes, appreciate it. Make sure to like the video as you're going out as well. If you haven't already, you're watching this on the playback as well. And yeah, huge congratulations on 794. Oh shit, there's a lot of people subbed today. Thank you so much. If you're not subscribed already, please make it like 800, man. I said, I can't lie, Karen Brady, bro, you're moving mad. A lot of people are saying, hear me out for Karen Brady. You're moving mad. 28 likes. I said, Northside, what colour is London?
I don't know, maybe beige. It's very hormonal around London these days.
Yeah.
Beige.
Yeah. I think we could all agree it's not white. So I think we could all agree on that. I think it's still claret and blue just because we're the last London team to win a trophy. So listen, just saying. I'll just be shameless for that 2 minutes. But listen, people, like the video, subscribe if you're new. Catch you guys another time. Take care and peace.